All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. TINUBU's government will improve Nigeria's security by 2027. Buratai. Now, in case you don't know who Buratai is, he is a former chief of army staff, and he is coming out to make such a disgusting statement. TINUBU will improve security by 2027. So what happens between now and 2027? Nigerians should keep dying daily, right? Buratai did nothing as chief of army staff other than to embezzle money meant for weapons and staff welfare. But because he is not rotting in jail, he had the effrontery, the temerity to come out and mock Nigerians in this manner. This is such a shame what Nigerians are having to go through under this TINUBU administration. These people are proudly destroying the country without being challenged by the masses, and other elites are joining them. Therefore, fellow citizens of Nigeria, it is important to know that we wrestle not against one another. We wrestle not against Igbos, Hausas, or Yorubas, but against politicians in power and the APC wickedness in high places. This is what we must unite to kick out. And few hours ago, the Chief of Defense Staff in a video sent a very strong warning to TINUBU and his cabinet members. In that video, he sounded very desperate. He sounded like a man who had exhausted all the energy in him, and he warned that there is an imminent collapse of Nigeria if the right thing is not done in the area of security. And he made a suggestion that many Nigerians may find weird, but he made it anyway. And concurrently, Obidient from southwest Nigeria, Yoruba Obidient, showed a renewed energy and renewed support for Peter Obi as the TINUBU camp tried to infiltrate them. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Now, I'm bringing this video here because first of all, it is connected. It has a connection with what the Chief of Defense Staff said. And secondly, to mock TINUBU supporters. See the video.
According to Budget, a civil society organization, the National Assembly inserted 11,122 projects into the 2025 federal government budget, totaling 6.93 trillion naira. Among these projects, street lights received the largest allocation of 393.29 billion naira for, guess what, 1,477 units. Based on this figure, it is estimated that one street light will cost a staggering 266 million naira. Can you beat that, Dr. Abati? Can you beat that? Let me take this WhatsApp comment that has been flying around. This person wrote, with the amount of street lights in this 2025 budget, Nigeria is supposed to be the light of the world. 1,477 street lights for 393.29 billion. That's 266 million per light. Are we installing the sun, Dr. Abati? Are we installing the sun?
You saw that. 266 million naira to be spent on the installation of one street light. This alone should tell you that the government has no good intention. I have said a few times here that once I look at a year's budget, I can tell you how that year will go. And for 2025, economically, it will be, and it is already, a disaster. We can see it clearly already. These men are openly stealing our resources, openly stealing our commonwealth, and we are too divided to stop them. This is so painful. Do you know what 266 million naira can do if it is invested into the primary healthcare system of that same town where they have proposed to mount just a single street light with it? And even if the money would be spent on street lights, it should light up many local governments. 266 million naira is what we are talking about here. That is the money that these people are just using anyhow. In this same country where there is no shelter. In this country that harbors the highest number of poor people in the world. In this same country that flood victims are being robbed of their donations by philanthropists. 266 million naira on one street light. That is why I have maintained that subsidy removal is not the reason Nigerians are suffering. Corruption is the major reason why we are suffering. Tomorrow, somebody will come and tell you that you should be patient with government. To be patient with this same government that is spending 266 million naira on one street light. There is no way a person in his right senses will think of being patient with these people. Nigerians must come together. That is what we keep preaching here. The reason why these men are able to achieve this is because they are united. The masses must also unite to rescue themselves from this abject slavery. Now, let us look at the top stories. Yoruba Obidient shocked Tinubu with renewed energy, backing Peter Obi after Tinubu camp tried to infiltrate them. And next is that video where the Chief of Defense Staff sent a strong warning to Tinubu and his cabinet. Very, very desperate warning. He said, if his suggestions are not followed, there is an imminent collapse of Nigeria that will be orchestrated by the implosion in the Sahel. Let's start by taking that update from Yoruba Obedience. It all started when Akin Olaoye, popular Obedient, announced that he was leaving the Obedient movement officially. And he immediately got a response from another popular Obedient from the Northwest. See the video.
Akin, one less obedient, more obedient. The obedient movement is not about me, it's not about you, but it's about people who are tired of what is happening in this country. And if you think that we are the major ones on the social media, no. There are more obedience on the street. Sadly, a lot of you gain relevance on the social media platform using the obedient, when in reality, you are not obedient. There are more obedient people who are loyal to the cause, and there are more that will join us. No shaking. 2027, we're even coming stronger. One less obedient, plenty more obedience.
And after this video was released and it began circulating, Obedience from Southwest began posting their pictures and making strong declarations for Peter Obi in 2027. This one here from Adepoju Timothy says, Peter Obi come 2027. You can see the post there with his picture. And this tweet here from Olufimo says, I am Olufimo, a Yoruba from Ibadan, a proud Peter Obi supporter. Come 2027, it is PO or nothing. And this tweet here from Olayinka says, they fear the collective power of the Obedient movement. They sent Reno, he failed. They sent Buala Olule. They have online miscreants like the fake pastor Unsogbu. But we remain resilient, and together with our votes come 2027, we will crumble the APC mandate. Peter Obi is coming. And Omoluabi here says, if voting a verifiable successful businessman over a known drug lord makes me an anomaly, I accept it with my full chest. And there were several other thousand tweets coming out from Southwest Yoruba Obedience confirming their renewed support for His Excellency Peter Obi after Akin Olaoye declared that he was officially leaving the movement. And this is what I keep saying, that contrary to what many think, the Obedient movement will even be bigger in 2027. It may appear now that the energy is not as strong as it was, but the opponents, the TINUBUs and the Atikus, they know that Peter Obi is still the man, and that is why they are dragging him left, right and center, trying to get him not to run. Some trying to get him to come and run under them. This is what I'm telling you. You have seen a glimpse of it, and it is even going to be extremely bigger as we edge closer to 2027. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that video from the Chief of Defense Staff began making the rounds. The Chief of Defense Staff, in a desperate call to the authorities, talked about the securing of our borders, and you could see even from his face that there is fire on the mountain. And he made a suggestion that many may consider weird, but looking at how preposterous we have been spending money in Nigeria, it won't be out of place to try out his suggestion, given the danger that may come if we don't. See the video.
Many of these armed groups are believed to have crossed the country's porous borders into Nigeria. And now, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is suggesting that it is time to build a fence around Nigeria. According to him, Nigeria needs to fully secure and control its borders, explaining that the country's wealth and natural resources are attracting insurgents and criminals.
Border management is very critical. I've had countries, because of the level of insecurity they had to fence their borders. I know sometimes when you mention, people say, no, it's impossible. Pakistan fenced 1,350 kilometer border with Afghanistan. That was the only time they had peace. Saudi Arabia and Iraq, 1,400 kilometers fenced completely. Can we start thinking of fencing our borders? We have 1,500 kilometers with Niger Republic, 1,900 kilometers with Cameroon. Chad is there. All over us, surrounded by Francophone countries, and the Sahel is heating up. Gentlemen, if we don't do anything, when the Sahel falls, it is Nigeria that everybody is interested in.
Taking up this suggestion will no doubt be a long and very expensive task, but is it one that Nigerians will agree with?
You saw that. Chief of Defense Staff there suggesting that Nigeria be fenced. He said we should fence this entire country. We should monitor this country because of the incessant migration of terrorists into this country. Now, whose responsibility is it to carry out this measure that he has suggested? Of course, it is Tinubu's responsibility. And one may want to ask, why didn't he just go directly to tell Tinubu at Aso Rock? And let me answer that question. The last time they held a closed door meeting at Aso Rock, this man came out and told the press that he just told Tinubu that the problem is our borders, that the borders need to be secured, that the borders are so porous. I presume he didn't get a good response from Tinubu, because the Minister of Interior was on air just about a week and a half or 2 weeks after that, saying that they had secured the borders, that the border security was good. Meanwhile, the borders are as porous can be. Can you get what is happening here? They know that that suggestion might actually work against insecurity, but they are not interested in doing it because the APC are chief sponsors of that insecurity. That was why Tinubu could not give his word that he would secure the borders. So, in a nutshell, what the Chief of Defense Staff is doing in this video is going public. He's calling out the authorities. He's telling Nigerians that I have told them what to do, but they are refusing to do it. That is exactly what this man is doing. And in my eyes, the man looks exhausted. He looks like he has tried all his ideas and the ideas did not work. That's why he's talking about, okay, let's fence this country. It sounds like the idea of a man who has tried everything and it didn't work. He sounded like a desperate man who has seen danger, impending danger. Now, fencing Nigeria might seem like a ridiculous project that would cost a fortune, even after he gave examples of countries that are fenced, but those countries are not as large as Nigeria. But if we are talking about the monies that will be spent on fencing Nigeria, is it not better to spend that money trying to protect the entire citizens than installing one street light with 266 million naira? Is it not better to secure all of us than to spend 21 billion naira securing only Shetima? 35 billion naira was used by Wike to renovate the International Conference Center. You will say that they are doing projects. Meanwhile, there are several important things on ground that money should be put into. They don't even know that those things exist. Do we still understand the kind of invasion, the kind of danger that the chief of defense staff is talking about with this implosion that is going on in the Sahel? That is why other African countries, the countries within our borders are shutting the borders against us, because they have seen that Nigeria is acting as if they don't realize the danger that is coming. So they don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria again. Shut the borders so that when this implosion happens and they invade Nigeria, they will not come to our place. Niger Republic shut their borders. Benin Republic shut their borders. The chief of defense staff is talking about a situation whereby the army will be outnumbered like 15-1. They are already outnumbered as we speak, but the CDS is seeing a catastrophe, something worse than what we are experiencing now. And he has been hammering this issue of border security. Instead of Tinubu to take real steps, he is busy joking that security has improved. Minister of Interior was lying, saying they had improved in terms of border security. Oh my God, this is the worst time to have these kind of people in power. People that are only concerned about looting, and looting the treasury. It's such a shame. It's such a shame, but I am not surprised. This is the APC. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us to have a country that we can be proud of, hell, for us to have a country at all in the near future, we must come together, cast our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now because of una I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go. So